the name is Law Nation. Be sure to smash that notification bell, hit the like button, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. The name, once again, is Law Nation. Let's go. Appreciate everybody who visit the event just yesterday. We had a great time. Shout out to Lisa. Thank her for holding down the tent. Shout out to Gucci Watts, Chanel, as well as anyone else that was out there supporting the nation. Let's go. Your one-stop shop for Cowboys information. Swift is out. Yeah. Shout out to you, VIP. Come on. It's the room fill up. Be sure, like I said, hit that like button. Share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know. Come on. A home game, a must-win game, right? Every game is a must-win game. If you're repping the silver and blue, you got to stay true to that, right? And I'm talking about the real silver and blue, not the Lions silver and blue. It's not the same, right? Come on. Yep. Come on. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. All right. So the 4-2 Cowboys faces the Lions, and the Lions are pretty much got their back against the wall. I think they're like 1-4, right? And we can go back and forth talking about it's a must-win for them. But it's really a situation whereas the Cowboys get Dak Prescott back. It's got to be a must-see TV moment. I believe at the end of the day, around 3, 4 o'clock-ish, you will hear and see that the Cowboys will have the most viewed game because everybody eyeballs will be on the Cowboys regardless, right? That's just how it goes. Shout out to you, Just. Appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in. Eastside Harold, thank you for being part of this one. Cuban Boy 24, appreciate you. And Keith Henderson, appreciate you, man. All right, so this is a game that the Cowboys will face, and everybody will know that, hey, with Dak Prescott, is he going to throw for 300 yards? Is he going to throw for 150? Will Ezekiel Elliott run the ball? Will he not run the ball? Will Kellen Moore call a decent game, a balanced game? I'm looking for balance, right? And more so, appreciate you. Morning to you as well, Stephen. Good day to you. Tony, thank you for jumping in. So we looking for those things, Cowboy Nation. And to me, I'm looking for Kellen Moore to call a play design to give Dak Prescott the opportunity to throw anywhere between 20 to 25. The yardage, that really don't matter to me, but I'm looking at the attempts. And I want this team to be a run-first team. I think that everything is rallied behind this offensive line. Just yesterday, I was looking at the stat line for Tyler Biadasz. Allowed 0 sacks this season. Only 5 pressures, 2 hits. I mean, you can't ask for more, from your center. And I think that he's having a really, really solid season, right? Tyler Smith, he's one of those guys, the rookie, only allowed 3 sacks at left tackle so far this season, going into his 7th game. I look at those, it's the small things that I look at with this offensive line, and we know that this guy is getting better and better and better and better as the days go by, and he's learning. Right? There's no shortcut to success. I said this before. You got to grind. You got to get it out of the mud. And I look at it right like, man, Tyler Smith is doing a phenomenal job. The only weak spot that we had on this offensive line been from our left guard, and that was due to injuries, right? We had to move in Farniak. We had to move him out, then put back Connor McGovern in. So I think collectively the offensive line been solid, right? From what was asked for this offensive line to do for the backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, pretty much, they kept him upright. And even in the pass game, the vaunted defense for the Eagles, they didn't even put a finger on Cooper Rush, right? Right? He had 0 sacks. The Eagles had 0 sacks against Cooper Rush. If we were to poll this team and try to find the ultimate weakness of this team, we will all collectively, if I'm a betting man, we will all collectively say, man, you know what? Running back game been good. Offensive line been solid. Even the backup quarterback, when he was in the mix, hey, he stepped up. He stood tall. It's got to be the wide receivers, right? or the philosophy of the aspect of the offensive coordinator, right? So Tony Peters says, Law, what's good? Appreciate you. Gene from the Facebook side of things, he says that this is the trap game. But if you guys listen to the players, they saying that they are just as hungry. I got a chance to hear Ferguson this morning on 105.3 The Fan, and he said, hey, we just as hungry as the Lions. We got a long way to go. Trap games normally occur when you're on a winning spree and you face a team like the Lions, right? The Cowboys are not on a winning spree. We just came off of a loss, and this game is a necessary game for us. So I truly believe that looking at our schedule, there's no such thing as a trap game as relates to looking at our schedule. We're 2 games behind the Eagles, right? And we got to make up for lost ground. So the Cowboys, I truly believe that the remaining schedule, there's no such thing as a trap game because, Brandon Ross, appreciate you. He says not a trap game, right? So I just don't see the Cowboys being high and almighty and looking at these games now in 3rd place in the division at any game saying, hey, man, it's a trap game. We just go in and lay an egg. No. The Cowboys are upset and angry, right, that we are in 3rd place. Shout out to you, the Big Time Show, man. That's my guy right there. Follow him on Facebook. Shout out to him. Remember the game against the Broncos, run all over us. That's a different scenario. And I know you played football, Gene. The Broncos scenario versus the Cowboys now is a different scenario. The Cowboys were, 6-1 at the time. They was on a winning spree. And what happened in that particular game, the Cowboys, they had the ball. They moved the ball. They forced a 3-and-out. They made it all the way down. Who remember that game? Show of hands. The Broncos game. Right? And the Cowboys, the opening kick, I believe Tony Pollard took it for like 45 to 50 yards, right? And then we were stalled and off, and then we went for it on 4th down, and we ultimately didn't get it. The defense played out of their minds. And on their first opening series, right, for the Broncos, they forced a 3-and-out. Then the Cowboys moved the ball all the way down the field again, right? And then they went for it on 4th down. And ultimately, it was an incomplete pass. And the Broncos was like, oh, y'all going to take us lightly. And then the Broncos started to run on us, and we couldn't stop anything. But that was more of for one, football is still a momentum game. Football is still a game of, hey, my matchup versus your matchup, and sometimes you can slip and fall. But like I said, the Cowboys were 6-1 at that time, I believe, or or 71, one of those ones. And then what happened is we got our butt whooped in that game. So neither here nor there. I don't foresee the Lions having the personnel as the Denver Broncos on the defensive side of the coin, nor do I see that this game from the Cowboys' perspective are looking at the Lions like they did the Broncos. So it's two different situations. Chris says to MG, Micah not a factor. Okay. Well, what MG says? Parsons non-factor. Well, let those who have opinions, have those opinions. Try not to change people's minds. You can't change people's minds over here. So let him think that. But here's the facts of Micah Parsons. Believe it or not, I think he's still leading the league in sacks. Right? There's nobody got more sacks than him, and he's only rushing part-time. If you only look at the stat sheet, you'll be lost. Right? Parsons brings a lot to the table. Right? And the people who really don't understand football as much, they would never understand. Right? It goes to show you that when you have a dynamic guy like a Micah Parsons, it frees up. I don't believe Dorrance Armstrong will have 5 sacks this season if you didn't have a Parsons, right? I don't believe the defensive front of generating pressures. I think the Cowboys got north of 85 pressures. Will be doing those type of numbers if you don't have a Parsons. But the Cowboys is listening in to 105.3 The Fan this morning. They was talking to a lady named Tracy Wolf, I believe that's her name, and she was talking about like college football and how every game is such an important game, right? You can't lose a game. And then she went to talk about the aspect of the Dallas Cowboys. It's similar. You see, we so reactive, as a fan base when we lose a game, that it felt like it always feel like when the Cowboys lose a game, it always feel like it's the worst game ever, right? It's not like, hey man, we got 11 more games. Every game the Cowboys lose, it pierced the side of people 50 times, and it appears that it appears that Cowboy fans sometimes fall into that lump because they don't look at a loss as a good one or an understanding loss. They just look at everything as terrible. Let's fire the coach. Let's get rid of the quarterback. Let's get rid of the running back. Let's get rid of such and such, Ladies and gentlemen, there's not many teams that's going to be like the, what's the 72 Dolphins, right? Or whatever team that went undefeated, the Dolphins, right? Not many teams going to do that. You're going to lose a game. You're not going to go undefeated. But the primary reason to play the game is to understand, okay, if I correct this, when I get to the playoff, we will do it in this fashion. But, neither here nor there. Appreciate you, Kane. Appreciate you. He said, get them likes up. All right, get them likes up. Let me pull up this right here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines because I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how you guys feel about this game. I want to know your score predictions and things like that. It's interactive, baby. We got less than hour and 30 before kickoff? Come on.
You are the only participant in the conference.
Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in.
All participants are muted.
Shout out to y'all. The hotline is 657-390-7391. I need your score prediction. I need your thoughts. Who need to have a good game? Or excuse me, who need to have a great game? Right? The formula, run first. Can we play a sound defense? Shout out to Jametta, Keith, 28-23. Shout out to you, CE. He says 31-13. Dallas, let's go. All right, I got my guy who been waiting here. He's going to try to bring as much as he can, and it is Brandon from the 815. You live.
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief. Man, talk to me, man.
Yeah, man. I'm expecting 35-17. Hey, I'm Dak Prescott back. So I'm expecting the offense to put up huge numbers.
Okay.
I do want us to have a balanced approach.
Right.
I want us to run the ball. They got a terrible run defense, giving up 167 yards. But when Dak have his time to throw the ball, I want to see precision passes. I want to see the offense clicking. I would like to see some up-tempo, maybe a little bit. I need to see about 250 passing. Maybe 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
35-17, man.
35-17, man. That sounds like a nice score, man. We all be celebrating. I got a victory jacket over there. I'll put it on, and we'll have some good time. The Cowboys, yes, I know the Cowboys not going to take those boys lightly, right? I think that the Cowboys will try to showcase their defense once again, and they're hungry. So, yeah, you're right. This should be a solid game by Dak Prescott, and this should be a solid game called by Kellen Moore as well.
Yeah, I agree. The defense, we didn't struggle against Philly, but I want us to make a statement. I want us to, make sure we get some pressure on these boys. Make sure, maybe get a turnover here and there. Hopefully we use Convante Turpin. If not, I hope to see him in a special team game doing some good run backs. I'm just, ready for my Cowboys to dominate, man.
Yes, indeed, man. I'm all ready for it, too, man. I appreciate you for calling in, being the first caller of the day, man. Thank you for holding it down, Brandon.
Oh, no problem, man. Love the show. I know you're sitting down for lost stand up. Hey, Cowboys, let's go.
Let's grind with it, baby. Yeah, that's Brandon, man, from the 815, man. Always calling in. He gave us some objective analysis. And if it's anybody that will hold Dak Prescott feet to the fire, will be him. And he's saying, at the end of the day, he's only hard on Dak Prescott, for those who don't know, because he wants this team to ultimately win, and we all want good things from this team, and some people have different points of views from it. Andy, Cowboys 31-6, you rock, Law. Appreciate you so much for the support. Thank you. And granted, man, Cowboy Nation, we all different, we all different. Hollywood Brown, appreciate you on the deep out. Who's Hollywood Brown, MG? Appreciate you, though. Ryan Kirkland, he says $1.99 for your mod. One of my mods, man, if y'all can, put the phone number in the chat, and I'll pin it to the top. Yeah. Oh, okay, Stephen White already did. Appreciate you, man. I'm going to pin yours to the top. All right, so let me see if I got it over here. Let's pull it up right quick. ESPN. And then we're going to go down to my Cowboys. Where you at, Cowboys? There we go. Noon game. Do y'all like the noon game? Let me know if y'all love the noon game. And let me know. All right, so, of course, 82% chance of us winning and 17% chance for the Detroit Lions. Now, I really don't pay attention to this. In the last 4 weeks, minus the last game, right? This predictometer been wrong, but we can always check back into it when the game process is out. All right, and we did do this before when we talk about the team analysis and things like that. Let me see if I can zoom in so everybody can see. All right, so the team matchup, the Cowboys points per game is 18.3. You're not winning many games if you can't score over 20, by the way, in this modern day football. Nevertheless, I think that with the offense and the philosophy, if we play a sound game, like me and Coach Marv, we talked about this before, pretty much you get 3 series or 3 drives in each quarter, right? And all we're looking for is 1 touchdown out of the 3 series, and that will get us right at 28 points, right? And maybe if you kick a field goal, they'll put you right over 30. But neither here nor there. I think that the Cowboys' efficient level should increase, and at least we can get to those good graces of scoring at least 1 touchdown in a quarter. That's what we're looking for. And I get it. A lot of people look at that and say, man, Law, we don't have to score 20 points or 28 points. Yeah, you do. You got to be efficient. And I got my guy, my brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover from the 901. You live, the big time.
What's up, man?
Nothing to it, Chief. Talk to me, man.
What's going on, man?
It's your world. It's your world.
I just think, Lord, that listen, I just think this game is kind of what I've been saying all year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the offense and the defense lies in the hands of Kellen Moore. Because if he calls this game
mm-hmm.
like he usually does, what I'm hoping for is that he don't get, big-eyed and excited
mm-hmm.
because Dak is back, and then you throw 35-plus times. I think the key that's going to answer all that is at halftime, instead of looking at Dak's numbers or whatever,
right?
probably need to see how many times Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard have carried the ball combined. And that'll tell us how the game is going, like that. But Kellen Moore controls the defense, because if he gets into this bad play calling mode and we have these 3 and outs, which I don't suspect that is going to happen this week because Dak is back, I think we're going to sustain a few drives this week, which of course will help. But we got to make sure that Kellen Moore stays the same that he's been, with the exception of last week. He's got to understand what this team does, and that's really all I'm looking for. If Dak throws it 35 times, I mean, this almost reminds me of last year when we lost to Tampa last year. We lost to Tampa this year. Then we ran about 5 or 6 in a row. That's because we ran the ball down people's throat, and then he caught the amnesia pill. He caught an amnesia pill. He forgot how to run, and I'm hoping, because it's following the same footsteps as it did last year. I just hope that this time around he remembers that he got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. If he does that, he controls the game. Really, I'll throw in special teams as well, because you'll drive pretty consistently, even if you have to punt the ball. The opposing offense has to start from way back deep, and I don't think nobody can really drive on this defense consistently.
On consistency. Yeah. So if it's long drive, play the field. You don't have to rush things.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, to me, they rushed it, last game.
Yeah. Not only that gets into the game management of Mike McCarthy as well.
Yeah.
He I like going for 4th down, but sometimes you gotta play defense. And if you do that, there's a good chance that we're gonna win. So really, Law, I think Dak is gonna do what Dak does. He probably have just a little bit of rustiness. The adrenaline gonna be flowing, but I think he's gonna settle in pretty good. But I want to see the play distribution between running and passing. And let's throw this in, Law. We all know that Dak has power at the line of scrimmage.
He do.
Kellen very well may have called a running play. And Dak see that one-on-one out there, and he get a little greedy. He could change it, which, and a lot of the blame that we have for Kellen Moore, some of that, I hate to say it, some of that sometimes goes with Dak as well, because let's be honest, Ezekiel Elliott has seen an 8-man box since high school. So he ain't never had you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't never had a 7-man box his whole life, so it ain't nothing new to him. You just got to be dedicated and committed as he was with Cooper Rush, he has to be the same way with Dak. If he come out here throwing 35 times a game, then we might as well get ready for, we might win, yeah, but it's how you win. You see what I'm saying?
It's how you win. And on top of that, you're right. I don't think that Dak Prescott can remain faultless, right? At some point he would have to have his share of the blame. But also that's where coaching steps in, right? We can say it left and right. Hey, man, the player audible out of this, the player audible out of that. But at some point, the coaches have to chastise the players too. So though it's a two-way street on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that, and I just think that's what I'm looking for. I think we're gonna win. I got 28-17.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be looking at how we gonna win.
No doubt.
That's the main thing. So I'm quite sure that'll fill in a lot of blanks as far as I'm concerned. Man, I love you. I love your show, brothers. Always keep doing what you do, man.
Nah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you for calling in, big time. Thank you. Let me hear you say, man, how about them Cowboys for you, bro?
How about them Cowboys? Let's go.
No doubt, man. That's my guy, man, the big time, man. Check out his show on Facebook, man, as well as the YouTube channels, The Big Time Show. I mean, he's a guy that's going to speak objectively of the Cowboys. It's not going to be one-sided, right? And we need those analysis. We need people to be objective with their speaking. It's not always sunshines and rainbows. It's a little mixture of both, and we need sugar and spice, right? It makes everything else nice. I got from the 903, you're live.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm well. I can't complain.
Hey, Dallas has some certified killers on offense, but they don't know how to use them. You got a piece of dynamite over there. I'm talking about his Turpin time.
Yeah.
Give this guy a chance in space.
Yeah.
He's a lethal weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I mean, a knife is sharp, but you got to use it, right? Just because it's sharp is in the draw, it don't mean anything. You got to pull the knife out. If you think I'm lying, ask Jason. Ask Michael Myers. You got to pull the knife out. You just can't have the knife in the draw. You're right.
Exactly. And the offense, I mean, I could tell what they're going to run. But with the defense, I mean, change it up sometimes.
We said the defense change it up sometime or the offense? Which one?
The offense.
Offense, okay.
Play.
Yeah.
I can tell every time it's a running play, every time it's a passing play. And I don't even play defense.
Yeah. Well, my thing is with Kellen Moore, you get what you got, right? I mean, there's no shortcut to success. And with Kellen Moore, we've seen the birth of Kellen Moore, right? We've seen the process of Kellen Moore. This is his 4th year, right? So there's nothing we can do about it, but just sit back and watch it, and hopefully the Cowboys, the GM, the owner, the doctor, Jerry Jones, can one day wake up and say, man, this is the bed we have, right? And I'm gonna have to lay in it. But the reality of it is that he entrusts himself so much in Kellen Moore, just like he did with Jason Garrett, that it is what it is at this point, and nothing we can do.
I have to totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. So, where you gonna be watching the game, man? You going to the bar? You gonna be at your house? What's good?
Well, I do not allow any anti-Cowboy fans at my house. I like watching the game by myself so I can holler, cuss, and throw stuff all by myself.
Okay, so you be sitting in your winner's chair, man, and with your eyes focused and fixated on the Cowboys. I love that, man. What's your score prediction?
I'm looking at 30-17, Dallas.
Okay. Hey, man, I'll take that all the way to the bank, man. I appreciate you for calling in. Let me hear you say it, fam, before I let you roll.
Go Cowboys.
Man, boy, you you took me there, man. Hey, he said go Cowboys. He took us to church almost on a Negro spiritual moment, man. Go tell it on the mountain. He was like, "Go Cowboys!" You know, that's the first time ever hearing it in that aspect of it, man. He took us all the way to church almost, baby. Appreciate him from the 903, man. That's from Marshall, Texas, man. Shout out to him, man. The man sound like Hank Williams. Yeah, man. Go tell it on the mountain. Over the hills and everywhere, spiritually speaking. Nobody knows, right? Appreciate y'all, man. The hotline for your mind is 657-390-7391. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Leave me your score predictions. Leave me your thoughts on everything. I really want to know. Let's not wait too late, Cowboy Nation. We need to know it right now. Let's gather at the river. Tell it on the mountain, baby. All right, let's see what my guy John Machota, because he normally have the good stuff over here. He says Cowboys inactives today versus the Lions. So far, Neville, I had a lot of people. For some reason, I just moved the E out of there and I just say Neville. Is Neville. Neville Gallimore is not active. Jabril Cox. At this point, the steal of the draft, Jabril Cox, is a non-factor. He's playing as much as football. Let me pull somebody's name in here. He's playing as much as football as Stephen White. Life crazy. You know, he's playing as much football as Kingdom Fit. You know, Swift is out, yeah. Jabril Cox is a non-factor. And he was the steal of the draft. So at some point, we can't even find a spot for him on special teams. What is going on with Jabril Cox? Free Jabril Cox. He must have spit on somebody, you know. He must have really, really got in the bad situation. A terrible situation with the coaching staff or something. Somebody free Jabril Cox, baby. All right, Will Greer, he's not active. Nashawn Wright, not active. He's playing just as much football as you and I, right? You know, Marquise Bell, I get that part of it. And Devin Harper, he's not active. But what's surprising to me is Nashawn Wright, who was a third-round draft pick for us, right, or fourth. Was he a third or fourth? Y'all let me know. And Jabril Cox. At this point, we talk about the Cowboys draft, and I had my guy. Let me see if I can find it. My guy spoke really well about this product.
When you go all in, what you're doing is you're strengthening the parts of you that could be a weakness.
Listen up.
We are looking at potential weakness in us being able to stop the run. We are looking at potential weakness on the offense. So we should be open for it all. Odell Beckham's, DJ Moore's, Mims. We should be open for it all to put all.
Listen to my guy, Boss Cowboy.
All of them. So maybe, let's meet in the middle, Steven. Maybe DJ Moore is too high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could probably get Mims for a late round pick right now. Are you so stringent on your plan
Listen
that
to
you're
Boss.
not even open to give up a late round pick? Well, let's go look at your cards. You got second round picks like Kevin Joseph as gunners.
Listen.
You got a third round pick in Nashawn Wright, not even hardly playing. You got what was considered the steal of the draft in Cox. You're not even finding ways to get him on the field right now. So why are you hoarding picks?
Hoarding, baby.
You're hoarding picks. You're hoarding your weight. You just hoarding picks. Go trade for a Mims. Okay, so maybe Shaq Thompson is too expensive.
Okay.
Especially when you go look at the price tag that McCaffrey went for to San Fran. They obviously trying to load up on picks, so they might be asking too much. Well, Raekwon's still on his rookie deal.
No doubt.
Yeah, you would be giving away maybe a pick for a 1-year rental, but you would be shoring up clearly an issue with your defense, and that's linebacker. So, yeah, it's really time for us to really pound the table on going all in.
Boss broke it down like a fraction. Scared money don't make no money. You got to will and deal. And sometimes you got to pick up the phone. I know you want to be cute.
No.
Not pick up the phone and allow teams to call you, Jerry and John Steve.
All right, so that's me. That's my thoughts on that. I think that my guy, Boss Cowboy, he was right on the money with his analysis and his approach. Scared money don't make no money. And holding on to your draft pick. Now, there's two ways you can look at that, right? Is this team just that big as it relates to the depths that we can rest assured have Kelvin Joseph, who's our second-round draft pick, to only be a gunner, and then our third-round draft pick, Nashawn Wright, to be an inactive guy, the steal of the draft, Jabril Cox, to be an inactive guy? Is it just that our depth's that good? Or there should be situations and philosophies of bringing in these guys, right? Shout out to my guy Jay Lombardi. Political football lives deep in the locker room. Yeah, you ain't lying. Clifford, appreciate you for the 200 stars. Sam Park says Cooper Rush or Cedric Wilson at quarterback. Wait a minute, Sam Park. You got to break that down because I can't even relate to that. Ryan Kirkland, thank you for the super chat too, for the $1.99, and also Andy, appreciate you, man. Thank all of y'all for the support. Boss Cowboy is right on the money with it. And speaking of boss, I think we got somebody else that's in the chat from the 951. You're live.
How you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. Talk to me, man.
I wanted your take on how you feel about like the last game we had. It was very frustrating seeing Kellen Moore. It was two plays that stuck out to me. He ran the ball on 3rd and 8, but he passed the ball on 3rd and 1, or it was either 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2.
It was inches. I knew he 4th and inches. He go for a pass on the edge or rollout play for Cooper Rush. Brian Broaders said it the best way, and shout out to my guy Brian Broaders. He said that Kellen Moore is a collector of plays. He's a collector. You know, he collects good plays from other schemes and other coaches, and don't necessarily have a scheme for himself.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, man, I think he's brilliant. I think Kellen Moore is brilliant, but he just don't. At some point, if we sit Kellen Moore and say, hey, we're gonna sit you down, and we're gonna develop a scheme, meaning that in this scheme, it doesn't matter who's your personnel, who's your quarterback, or what's down and out. This is your scheme. This is your philosophy. And I think that will help Kellen Moore to develop a scheme. Think about it. When you have a scheme, a system that's put in place, if I'm absent, meaning that I can put somebody else in this chair and they will be able to roll with the philosophy of law. But Kellen Moore don't have that.
When you look at an offensive coordinator and a head coach, I'm trying to draw the thin line between play calling and a head coach doing his job as a head coach. I mean, I know that Kellen Moore calls the plays, but even in other teams, for instance, how does that work? Say if a head coach calls the plays, then what would the offensive coordinator job be?
Well, we do have in-game coordinators, right? Like for example, my brother's team is the 49ers. He loved the 49ers. And their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, he's going to call the plays to fit his particular scheme. So that's why he was giddy and googly eyes when he said, oh, man, they got now CMC, right? Yeah. So what's going to happen here is within the confines of his scheme, he can now look at it and say, okay, it's a ploy, right? A scheme is a way where you can disguise things to benefit your team collectively. For example, Deebo Samuel and CMC in the backfield at the same time. That scheme by itself affects the way the linebackers widen out or whether they're going to cut down the inside and secure the A or B gap, right? The safety, when he looks at that coverage, is he going to climb a little deeper inside or he's going to widen out? No, he's going to come in a little deeper because now he look at it like, hey, you got an explosive guy of CMC. You got an explosive guy of Deebo, right? And I can't be 15 to 20 yards out because I got to make sure that I come down and make this tackle. And I have to be cognitive enough to make sure that my cutback is secure too. So that scheme affects the way the defense play. Whereas we as Cowboys, we have been robbed of that because there's no particular scheme that will affect the way the defense play. Unfortunately.
Man, you chopped that up so good. Man, I needed it that because I really didn't understand his logic. I didn't understand the logic of what it really is supposed to look like in those locker rooms, in that front office, and when you're calling plays. Yeah. One more question before I let you go. How do you feel about the situation in the quarterback room with the play of Cooper Rush these last 4 or 5 weeks? Seeing him play, and then you hear the echoes of the world and Dallas Nation talking about the elevation of Dak Prescott,
right?
And now he is on considered in a hot seat now that you see Cooper Rush playing in the games that he won. Do you buy into that that kind of notion that now that Cooper Rush played so well, now it's going to be detrimental if Dak Prescott does not play well in a sense.
It's a, how can I put this in a political way? I'm trying to. Dak Prescott people foreseen things like this happening, right? And that's why they got the contract the way it is. You can't franchise tag him. There's no trade clause. And the majority of his money is guaranteed, right? So it puts the Cowboys in a situation where they would not eat the money, right? There's a lot of pride that's on the line, and they can't escape from it. So Dak, rest assured, got that insurance policy already there. Now, on the flip side, yes, Dak Prescott.
Some will put back and say that Dez Bryant, they ate that money, and they called that dead money. And
it's a whole different situation and scenario because Dez, if you look at wide receivers versus quarterbacks, yeah. Outside of what Jerry Rice, he the only guy that played into his 40s, but wide receivers ain't playing all the way into their 40s. Quarterbacks play forever almost, man. And the way Dak Prescott, it's granted he got to perform. Now I'm not saying that he can't, but he got to perform.
Why do you say that though? Why now though? Why
No, it's always he had to perform. It was never a situation, a scenario that he couldn't, right? Because the money always speaks for itself. Look, at the end of the day, all quarterbacks must perform, but it becomes even permeated in the minds and the hearts of people when they see that contract is there, right? So that's just how it goes. So when they see that contract there, they say, hey, we're looking for these type of things. For example, there's no more, hey, man, he was a 4th-round draft pick. Nah, he's a $140 million quarterback now, right? you can't say, hey, man, that's a 4th round. You can't say that anymore because the man makes millions upon millions. So objectively speaking, that's just the reality of it, right? On the flip side of it, what Cowboy fans can't do is say, hey, since he got the 140, now he got to win the Super Bowl. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. Yeah. But he got to perform, though. That's just the reality. But
at a more in the sense of Cooper Rush, though, does he have to play? You get my question?
I get what you're saying.
Cooper did that. Is it more of the expectation that he has to play and win now that since Cooper Rush done that and won those games?
No, it's more, believe it or not, it showed the hands of the coaching staff. The expectations of the coaching staff. How were you able to win that way by running the ball like the formula presented itself? Like they didn't ask Cooper Rush to throw for 30 times. The moment they asked him to throw for 30 times, the Cowboys lost. So the formula. Why would they ask Dak? Yeah, and why would they ask Dak? So the formula is there.
You a bad boy.
Yeah. I'm a mad scientist over here, baby. So the onus is now on the coaching staff. Like we know what it takes to win games. The formula. That's why everybody, mama, uncle, cousin is saying like, hey, Cowboys Super Bowl contenders. When Dak come back, the analysts are saying that because they can see it. There's no way around it because they know. Like, I get it. Fanfare will say, okay, Cooper Rush won those games, but those who look at football, they can say, man, dog, defense played out of their minds, and they put the ball in the belly of the running backs, and he wasn't asked to throw for 30 to 40 times, right? And the moment he did, they held that L. So yeah. So that's why the onus is now on the coaching staff. But Dak Prescott got a part of it too. He can't turn over the game, right? He can't throw interceptions. He can't fumble the ball because they're gonna say, "Hey man, you won at least 4 games with the backup by protecting the ball and running the ball." So I appreciate you for calling in, man. What's your name, fam?
Oh man, we didn't talk a few times. John, from California, Riverside, California.
Riverside, hold on. Let me save you in here, man, John. You was a good caller, man.
Yeah,
John,
you're a dope dude. I follow you on Instagram. I'm always DMing you, sending you cowboy videos, things that are important, stuff like that. So follow me on Instagram, J Roscoe. That's with 3 S's, JRO, 3 S's, CO.
No doubt.
Yeah. So appreciate you, Law, man. You're a good dude, man.
I appreciate you, man. John from Riverside, man. Yeah, that's a good call from him. But I hope you guys get what I'm saying, right? Collectively speaking, put Jabril Cox in, and we wish, man. He ain't coming in though. I got my guy from the VIP lounge, man. He's always bringing a lot of energy. I know he's about to get this thing crunk. From the 860, man, you live, fam.
Lord's VIP, baby.
Yo.
Game day.
Game day, baby.
Lord, like you, I do a lot of research. I've been watching to see who's got the top 5. Lord, do you realize Matt Ryan is in the top 5?
Top 5.
Matty Ice is in the top 5 along with your boy Murray from Arizona. That goes to show you.
In QBR or what was your top 5 of?
In yards.
In yards. Yards. So
yeah, you know I'm not New Yorker. My B.
No, you good. You good. No, you good. You good. Yards. It's okay, man. You know, I don't look yards. I really don't quantify or qualify yards as a determined factor of a good quarterback, believe it or not. I look at completion percentages. Of course, you can throw in QBR and the other things outside of yards, because there's this thing that a lot of people coin in the year. It never was a stat until 2020. You know what that stat is?
Yeah.
Garbage time.
What's that?
Garbage time stats. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, garbage time. Cool.
It's garbage time. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to quantify yards. Because now
they moved the goalpost.
They moved the goalpost.
Because that fourth quarter before it was people put Joe Montana, Steve Young, Troy, put all these numbers together in the fourth quarter. Now these numbers are irrelevant. You're telling me?
Yeah, it's a garbage time stat that been coined in the year 2020. Is a real thing. So I that's why I really can't look at those yards as being top in the NFL as a qualifying number now, But go ahead with your flow, though. Go with your flow, man. Not to cut you off.
But you're tapping in on my point, respectfully, because just because they're in the top 5 in yards don't mean they're doing something.
Right.
So I don't want. That gets to my point where our OC. I don't want him to get mesmerized and all giddy-eyed, because he's still virgin. So he sees something, his eyes start popping out his head. Look, let Dak run the same offense we've been running for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
If that offense, that chemistry that we have, that is our identity.
Yep.
See, our problem is, we haven't found an identity for our offense in the last 3 years.
Identity crisis, yeah.
That's what we're doing, because our OC, he gets that virgin, he starts getting OCD, and he wants to pass happy. He wants to, let the run set up the pass.
Let it, yeah.
You do that and we good. Give my boy Hendershot a couple more. Let him run them seam routes.
Right.
Because that's what we haven't attacked the middle of the field, because we haven't utilized it. Once that gets in, he sees what Hendershot. Hendershot got some legs. I like him in the seam. Running them, just keeping that middle honest, that will open up everything else.
Yeah.
And please, what I did hear, I don't know if this is true, that they are practicing the run pass option with my boy Turnup as the third option for the pitch. That's what I want to see.
Well, we've been waiting on Cavante, but for what he's been doing so far, this is his rookie year. It's been enough. But we do want to see him out there on the field with a jet motion or something,
Something.
But
give me 3 of them a game, Lord.
But what the Cowboys got to do is they got to stop it. You know what I'm saying? When you see Cavante Turpin on the field, they immediately do something with him. No. You got to also use him as a decoy. You got to also incorporate him in on goal routes, fly routes, of course, some nines, and just have him in the offense on a consistent level versus you bring him in on one play, just run. No, have him consistently on a play. You know what I'm saying? But Kellen Moore rarely do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like my super chat guy, Kellen Moore playbook, appreciate him. He said Kellen Moore's a collector of plays, right? But we need to have Kellen Moore to involve a player in there. Just like Kellen Moore learned this. He learned this from his daddy, Jason Garrett and Scott Linebacker.
From his daddy.
No, he learned from his daddy. Remember when Noah Brown, I think it was his first year, it was his second year, when we saw Noah Brown in there, we was all yelling, "It's a run!" You know what I'm saying?
It's a run!
Because we knew that when we saw Noah Brown, it was going to be a run play. It was no element of any surprise. We all knew that they was going to run. But that was foolish, come on. Mix the thing around. Put Cavante in and go for a 9 route or go for a jet. Move him around,
And what you're doing is you're keeping that last safety honest. They can no longer put 8 in the box. If you put Turner, they're like, oh, whoa. We got to adjust. We got to go back to either cover 4 or put 2 on. Because we got to have somebody over the top for him.
No.
If not, they squeezing down. Even though they squeezing down, we still doing good on the run. But could you imagine if we take that last safety out the box?
There we go.
Lord. That'll give us 200 yards running, and that'll open up Dak. I only want Dak to throw for like 250. I don't want him to throw for no 300. I don't need 500 yards. I need 250, like a good 180 running, and we good. We good. That's our dub right there. 28-13 is my score. You already know, Law. I got to get out of here. I got to finish cooking, get my wings ready for me and the boys to sit down and watch this game.
No doubt. Appreciate you, man. Let me hear you say it, fam.
Well, Law, you already know how about them Cowboys. I ain't a killer, but don't push me, Law.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy. Y'all get what he said, man. That's my guy VIP, man. Always bringing in some great energy to the table. But, let me read that super chat because I don't know if it's still up here, but I want to get to it before my mind's gone. But let me see if I can find it. Shout out to you, man. Kellen Moore's playbook. He says he collect plays only. No scheme on here. You know what I'm saying? And then my guy Jay Lombardi with the super chat, the $1.99 for your mind. Political football lives deep in the locker room. He's right as well. The thing is with Kellen Moore, and I'm not trying to beat the man up. I promise you, I'm not beating him up. But what I would like for him to do, if you're going to have Kevontae Turpin in the game, have a series of Kevontae Turpin. Not just, hey, you see number 9 running out there, and it's a jet. Or, like, come on, let's utilize him more than that. And the Cowboys will be better, Yeah. Let me see a forward game. Appreciate you, Stephen White. It's like down enough is enough. Yeah. I get timed out just for using emojis. That's funny. I am awake. Are you? Hey, man, we appreciate you over here. I don't know. I hope mods leave I am awake alone. All right. 520. You're live.
Hey, how you doing? I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Yeah.
Revenge is the sweetest joy next to eating sushi.
Yeah,
yeah. That's not till Christmas Eve, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
What's up, Law Dog? You the voice. You the voice of YouTube, man. You are a voice, man, because you break it down. I love your content, man.
Thank you.
To iterate what you guys been talking about, and Kellen Moore, like collecting plays, let him do stuff some of his old mentor Scott Linehan plays, and what he used Lucky Whitehead with Kevontae Turpin. I know, like the Jets sweep is played out, but it does keep that linebacker in concrete, or the threat of that linebacker. And that's exactly what Shanahan does. It basically runs up the middle with a bunch of razzle-dazzle and show, and that's all it is to keep those outside linebackers honest. And that's all we want to see. Kevontae Turpin did enough for us in the preseason to get people scared, to keep players with that second in concrete. So with that, but I believe we have a sleeping giant in this game, Law Dog.
Who is that?
He has 2 8s on his jersey, and his quarterback is back. I'm not saying we should pass the ball whatsoever, but do you see now that number 1 is there, Noah Brown going back to obscurity, or all the players that Cooper Rush, favored or was used to. Now number 1 is in. Tell me what the plus multiplier is with Dak Prescott being in. And as far as I'll let you go after I talk. As far as the formula. Formula. Some of us have the formula. Some of us know what the pattern of success is, and we want to get cute. Case in point, with the Vikings, it was a Sunday night, not last year, but the year before, we ran the ball with Zeke, got down with Zeke, and then we get cute and getting cute is not good. I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty, big dog. So puro 5-2-0 and puro Pichi Cowboys. I love your content, big dog.
I appreciate you, man. Great observation, man, from him. Just like the sweetest joy next to eating sushi. Oh man, that guy is right there. Wow. Yeah. That man crazy, man. Here's the thing, Cowboy Nation. The aspect of it is, I get it, the jet sweep, right? If you do, when you put Cavante out there and you just line them up and just do the jet sweep, I'm not going to be mad at it. No. When the Cowboys did it in 2016, Lucky Whitehead, right? Lucky averaged 9.5 yards per jet sweep. And when the Cowboys took that out of their offense in the playoff game, we didn't get a chance to do that against the Packers. I think that jet sweep was just as vital as Ezekiel Elliott running the ball, as the offense getting in the right rhythm and pace. And if the Cowboys even look, I hope that you guys understand what I'm saying. That if the Cowboys, regardless of scheme, because we don't have it, if they just dial it back and not overcomplicate things and say, you know what, we're just gonna jet sweep it, right? We're not gonna do double reverse. We're not gonna jet sweep it to the short side of the field. We're gonna do it on the long side of the field. You know, I think that this team would be better, even in that glow, right? And the whole notion of my guy CeeDee Lamb needing Dak Prescott back and wanting to have a great game. He's been limited in practice all week with a hip pointer, right? So if CeeDee Lamb, I don't know what type of mental mindset he have, right? But I do know that he got the dropsies. He need this game just as much as Dak Prescott need this game. And we can't have a mental fog from CeeDee Lamb. He got to catch and hold on to the ball because he's been limited in practice. And y'all know how those hips, once they go bad, those hips, man, he got to have a way to secure things. And I need CeeDee Lamb wearing that 88 to have a great game and catch the ball when granted. Because y'all already know how it goes, right? Shout out to everybody for tuning in, and thank you guys so much for being part of this. Shout out to you, Jessica Rodriguez. Appreciate you, Abraham, on the Facebook. Solo, thank you. And Sandra, appreciate you. Davenport, appreciate you on the Facebook. I got my guy that's been waiting here. We're going to have Sonny and then Darius. Sonny, you're live for the 970. Talk to me.
Hey, Law, how you doing, my man?
Oh, well, I can't complain. Talk to me.
Yeah, looks like we might be getting snow tonight up here.
Oh, wow. Where you at?
Right here in the Fork. I'm over here by Durango, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now we're getting storm, but it's supposed to get really cold.
Oh,
we
wow.
got elk hunting going on, but hey, I got a quick question. Maybe I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
What did he wouldn't go over it too much? What did Dak Prescott mean by why he was standing on the sidelines, that he learned some stuff, but he said he wouldn't elaborate on it? What do you think he meant by that?
Well, I'm
that
glad.
He learned some new.
I'm glad he didn't elaborate on that, because that's showing his hand, right? I mean, if you got it.
Yeah, what do you think he meant by that?
From my interpretations of it is that, hey, we got a hell of a defense and run the ball. Let's not turn the ball over, and you can win games. That he don't have to put the game in his hand, right? Or you don't have to put his thumb on it now. So I think that's what he meant by saying that. Sometimes I hear an echo, Sonny. You might have to turn me down in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, Sonny.
Yeah. I got you now.
All right. So yeah, it could be just that, right? Sometimes you can overcomplicate things, man, and just sit back and understand that. Just like when you start doing equations, you're right, and it's not that difficult, right? Just understand the formula, and then when you understand that, then you can go quadratic equations. You can start doing chemistry. You can start doing a whole bunch of things if you just simplify and not look at the bigger chunk of it. And then, man, before you know it, you be doing the rainbow method, the Pythagorean theorem.
Hey, I got a question. What do you think of that game we played against Philadelphia overall? Did you think I know the RPO got us on that. That's the only reason they beat us. That was pretty good game calling on their part.
Yeah, I was listening
and I'm surprised
Go ahead.
They didn't get that
Go ahead.
readjust for that in the second half. Or is that something you just can't readjust for? Is that something you just can't do like that quick, huh?
Well, it's a situation where it's the Philly came more prepared. And the Cowboys was not prepared. They was rushing. Anytime you see a team go for it on fourth down in inches, you showed your hand. Yeah, you showed your hand. And if you remove like the three interceptions, right, or the turnovers, and if you just play the field, punt the ball, I think that would have changed the game. I think that it would at least removed at least 7 to 10 points off the board, and it would have been a closer game.
Yeah, you think it would have been close. You know what scares me, Law? This really could happen. Philadelphia can actually go undefeated this year, but I believe it's either going to be Kansas City, but I'm more pulling for Buffalo. It's going to probably meet them in the Super Bowl. But with them having such a easy schedule, they really got because they're going to be favored in every game, I guess, all the way.
Let them be favored in every game, but they got to play the Cowboys, right? And then again,
who are they playing this week?
They playing us. They're gonna be watching the rewinds of the tapes, because they felt like they won the Super Bowl, So they're on their bye week this week.
Oh, they're on their bye week.
Yeah.
Oh, I was kind of wondering how they would do after a big game like that, how they were going to put. I'm hoping somebody's got to upset them, outbeat them.
When they come back, they got to play the Steelers. So we'll see how that all unfolds, man. But shout out to the Eagles for right now, and we'll see them. Yeah. And they still got to play the Giants. I think the Giants match up well against the Eagles. I think that the defensive coordinators for the Giants, he's pretty good. He understands the flow of a running quarterback. Remember, he pretty much scouted. What's his name? What's that defensive coach over there in Giants? He was.
I don't care about Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm sick, dude. I wouldn't wear none of them hats that hurt sizzles or whatever. I don't care what color it is. I have nothing to do with the Eagles.
No doubt, man.
I hate them as bad as I do the Rams.
No doubt, man.
I really hope that. But you know what scares me is if they do go undefeated, we'll never hear about it I might have to quit watching football.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Sonny, because they got Martindale. Yeah. Wink, Martindale, man. Just appreciate you, man, for the Doc Woods. Hey, let me hear you say it before I let you go, Sonny. No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. That's a good call from him, man. He threw me off for a second. Yeah, here's the thing, and this is my last conversation on the Eagles, man. Shout out to them, right? They won. They remarkable team. They 6-0. They going to the Super Bowl. But the reality of it is football is an ever-changing sport. We got 11 more games to go. And I'm telling you, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, when it get cold, everything gets harder. And the more and more tape that's out on you, the more difficult it get. I got my guy from the 214 right down the street, Darius, you're live.
Yo, Lo.
What's good?
So, Have you been to the fair yet? Because I know you down here. You know that's a big thing down here. Have you been to the fair? You took the kids to the fair?
Man, no, man. I didn't been out to the fair this year.
Okay.
What about yourself? What about yourself?
No, I'm not gonna be able to go. I got a trip I got to go to tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's kind of exciting. I'm gonna wake up in Montego Bay tomorrow. Like, this is gonna be kind of crazy, but I'm kind of lit about that. But no. So outside of that, since y'all talking about Kellen Moore, the one thing I kind of wanted to say was I kind of wish that Kellen Moore like scheme up the run, almost like instead of just doing like the classic plays that you always talk about, like the halfback slam or 21 slam, whatever that.
Yeah, 21 slam. Yeah.
I wish that he would scheme up the run like somebody would scheme up the pass. So just like get creative with it, do the counters, the whams. You know, we probably run those plays, but like scheme it up, like get creative with the run. You know what I'm saying? Be powerful with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too cute with it, but at the same time, scheme it up, mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Like scheme, have like a run scheme. Don't just do simplistic like run plays. Sometimes keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple because we talk about math. But sometimes, like I just wish that he would do that also, and then like you'll see some schemes and like different teams, play callers, to where you'll be like, damn, like that's a good play. Like it's been a couple of times on that game versus the Eagles where I was like, even though they trash, you look at that shit like, damn, like that was a good ass play, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like it's. I never get that feel from Kellen a lot. You know what I'm saying?
And here's what we got to do with that. And this is what Kellen do that annoys me, right? Philadelphia got a scheme. It's a scheme that they run for Jalen Hurts, right? That was a particular scheme. What you can't do, Kellen Moore, is say, oh, that was a brilliant play that the Eagles ran. Let's run it. You know what I'm saying? No, because now you're taking a play out of their scheme, and you just insert in said play. See, the scheme of the Eagles beat us. Not Jalen Hurts. He was 15 for 25 for 155 yards. So it was the scheme that they ran, not the necessarily arm or anything else. And what Kellen Moore does is he would take a little bit of Eagles scheme, one play, and then he would take a little bit of the Josh Allen play, you know what I'm saying, that they do in Buffalo, and then he would sprinkle some of what what's the kid in Kansas City, Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
Right.
Beat me to it. Yep.
Right. So just develop your own scheme, and then we would see better. We see better production.
Yeah. But see, I wasn't saying take plays from other people. I'm saying I never get that feel from Kellen. Like, Feel of like damn, like that was impressive. Like I just seen like that play was really well executed, and that was really witty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the creative plays that Kellen Moore be doing, like my little nephew seemed like he made that on Madden or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that was like real wonky. You know what I'm saying? That was like real clunky and wonky. That wasn't even like well executed. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing I just wish too, like since we were talking about Cavante, just give Cavante, just put the ball in the man's hands. Like the one thing that you wouldn't want to see is that if we release Cavante and then another team like Kansas City get him and then he go stupid. Like you see how they would have used him, how they would have utilized him. Put him at running back, put him at tight end, just some crazy stuff, but it's well executed. You know what I mean? So to me personally, I just wish give the man the damn ball.
Yeah, give him the ball.
Scheme it up. Just give Cavante the ball. And you know, other than that, man, it's all love. I know the game about to start. I know you about to get it going. You know, just I need that play-by-play because you hear I'm at work.
Yeah, I hear you.
Can't see it. You know, you all I got.
All right.
Man,
all right. So let it hang, man. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you, Darius, man.
Yeah.
Good call from him, man. Calling me while he's at work, man. I'm glad I'm doing a noble thing.
The conference has been locked.
I got the last caller before we shut this down and go to our actual live stream for the game by play-by-play analysis. I really appreciate you guys so much. The last caller of the hour will be no other than the wonderful Coach Marv, man. From the 803, you're live.
What's going on, Law? How you doing, brother?
None to it, Chief. Talk to me, man.
Game day.
Analysis. Give it to me,
man. But you know something, man? I just want the fans to understand how important this game is. I mean, I know when we talking about Detroit, it's got a lot of importance because you're coming off a loss. Your division is real tight. You're getting your quarterback back. So you want to instill some confidence in where we at, because when you get into week 5 and 6 and 7, your identity is really set of who you are. There's really no magic wands that are going to be waved across you. You're going to be able to get better here and there, get better. You might improve, might get hot. But the basic essentials of your team is already in place, and you really done got enough games under your belt to understand what this team, this 2022 team, is really about.
Right.
So I like what I've seen early on with our offensive line. I've liked what I've seen with our defense. I hear a lot of fans in the last day or two talking about, man, we need that big guy up front.
Right.
I tell people this, man. The run game is what's hurting us in the run game is our linebacker.
Yep.
Our defensive line is doing enough to be able to be to shut the run down, but our linebackers are not doing their job, and I hope that increases, because when I watch the preseason games, if you go back to the preseason, and I know that was preseason, we were pretty stout against the run, and our linebackers was closer to leading us in tackles. Now, that wasn't our main linebackers. It was the guys that we think should be getting some time now, but they were getting a lot of tackles. And since the season has started, our linebackers have failed to maybe probably third on that list. Our defensive line get a lot of tackles. DeMarcus Lawrence gets a lot of tackles, and usually with great run-stopping teams, it's usually their linebackers get 100 tackle years, and the defensive line get a secondary in the tackling. So it is important that our linebackers play well this game, because teams gonna start exploiting us there, and they're gonna start doing a lot of traps and influence blocks just to let our defensive linemen get out of place, because they don't feel that the linebackers are gonna field or attack the run game.
Yeah, and let me say this too. I know a lot of people are talking about DeAndre Swift, who's inactive, but he's not their leading rusher. You know, he's been injured for the last few games. You know, it's Jamal Williams, who is a hard runner, hard to get down, and for the season he got 6 tubs, y'all, and he is a guy that your linebackers, they can't play around with it. If you think that they're gonna go side by side and try to hug him, he's gonna plow right through y'all. The linebacker still got to stop this dude. You know.
Well, let's be realistic, and you got to think about Detroit's quarterback is who he is.
Right.
And if the Detroit Lions have any kind of smart wits about themselves, they're not going to put him in a place where our defense is, features off turnovers and pressuring the quarterback and hitting the quarterback. They're not going to put golf in a situation where it falls in the hands of our defense. So they're going to be committed to the run. I think back to the Eagles game when the Eagles got, and I went back and looked at the Eagles game when they played Detroit, and the Eagles got up on top of them But the way Detroit got back in the game is that they said, we're going to stop letting the Eagles tee off on our quarterback, and they went to the run down by 3 touchdowns.
There you go.
And got back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said that's where it's going to slow the Eagles down, and we're going to get back to being a physical team. And they got back in the game with the running game because they stopped hurting themselves by letting the Eagles get after their quarterback.
Right.
So that philosophy is going to be today, and it's going to be important that our offense stay consistent, like we talked about it earlier this week, where it puts them in a problem if they say they want to slow the game down and run the ball, because they're going to feel pressed because they know when we get the football, we're going to take 4 to 5 or 6 minutes off the clock.
There you go.
So now they feel like they're pressed, and they'll be forced into letting Jared Goff make those passes, and then we'll turn up on them. We'll get the interceptions, the sack fumbles, and all those things that we want. But it's important that complementary football plays into our strength, and our strength is our defense, and our strength is our defense playing less minutes, playing fast pace, and hunting the quarterback. Let's earn the right to hunt the quarterback all with our offense being consistent, and that gives out and stopping the run game, and then we'll earn the right to hunt the quarterback and increase the sack lead we have in the NFL and get out of this game with a big victory. But it's very important that we play very good football and prove that loss that was just a bump in the road, and we trying to get to our bye week 6-2. But we got to go 1-0 today. That's
doubt.
what it is. 1-0. That's what we're trying to do.
You guys heard it first, man, from Coach Marv, man. I really appreciate you so much for calling in and giving us the wealth of knowledge and from your wisdom and understanding of the game, Coach Marv. Thank you so much, man.
Man, and I want to say one thing, Law, man, you do a great job in the Cowboys Experience, man. Hopefully I can get down and get to Dallas and experience it with you, man. But you do a great job, man, and keep on pushing, man, giving the Cowboys that experience and giving the experience through your eyes and your telecast, man. I really appreciate that, and the fans should all get on board and support because you do a great job for the Cowboy fans.
Man, I thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, Coach Marv.
All right, have a good one, man. Let's go Cowboys.
Yes, indeed, man. It meant a lot, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate Cowboys Experience. We had a great time, not a good time, just yesterday, and I appreciated Lisa for being out there helping me out, as well as Gucci Watts and Chanel, and shout out to Barry Griffith, Mike Tovar, and the USA cheerleaders, as well as we had Sam Williams out there. He was a delight for the fans. He just got so was it interpersonal with everybody. You know, he was the light out there, man, that everybody kind of gravitate toward, and I really appreciate him. Tyler Biotish, he was out there, and he had a great time, as well as Kenny DeShart. We got a chance to see Tony Hill. He was there, Ed Too Tall, and Isaiah Stanback, man. So we had a great time, Cowboy Nation, and I really appreciate you guys so much for coming out to these events and just mixing and mingling with the Cowboy superstars, you know. So that's always a pleasure for the fans and the community to have a great time. And speaking of that, Cowboy Nation, as we rock on up out of here, just know, man, that I say this all the time, the race is not to the swift nor the battle to the strong, right? It's about to he that endures to the end. And the Cowboys, this journey, man, it's not over with. We got a long way to go. Like I said, 11 more games. That's a whole season, man. You know, and we got to get things going. We do. So 10 more likes to 200, man. Appreciate you. I am awake. Yeah, we got to get there, man. Y'all get there. Hit that like button. Share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Cowboy Nation, let's figure out. It's a W out there. W-I-N. Let's play a sound football mind game, right? Let's be smart with it. Let's not rush anything. And let's stay focused, Cowboy Nation. Let's get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And shout out to Jason, man. Him and his whole entire family. Not Garrett, but Jason. You know who he is, right? He said him and his wife, kids, they greeted me and they said, Law, I don't like your show. I love your show, man. I tune in each and every day. I follow every word, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go get that dub. It's out there, baby. DC for life. Salute. Roll those credits, baby. Shout out to you, Stephen White. Come on.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me.
C, appreciate you. Andy, Ryan, Sam, Jay, Kellen Moore, Playbook, Sugar Daddy, Juan, Ryan, and Sugar Daddy 1 again. Appreciate you for your support.
Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the
shout out to you, Candace, David, D Nice, Sean on the Facebook. Let's go, Peter. Thank y'all for the star.
My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it
Solo, let's get it. Come on.
Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on bling and she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up.
Ooh.
Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
We out. See y'all next